Good morning, my name's Grace Alec. I'm one of the Trust Chaplains at Barking, Havering and Redbridge University Hospitals Trust. I've got with me two of our amazing Daisy volunteers, so please feel free to speak to them at the stands. They've got some wonderful stories that they can share with you, Sophia and Jan. And we've also got our amazing partner, Marie Curie. So this is Shirley from Marie Curie, and she'll be talking a bit about her involvement as well. So, the Daisy Project. This was a partnership project that we worked with Marie Curie. One of the main reasons for that, as you can probably imagine, was funding. In our hospital, we saw the need for patients, particularly at end of life, needing more support, for their families and their loved ones and their relatives needing more support. And what we really witnessed as well was our staff feeling that they weren't able to give as much time to people at this important part of their life as they would like to. The Daisy Volunteer Project would enable us to provide companionship and support to our imminently dying patients. It would also enable them to have emotional support for their relatives and their carers. That would also enable us, particularly in COVID, because this project was launched during COVID when everything was pretty crazy, and actually all volunteers in our trust were on hold. Apart from this project, we were able to bring volunteers in. So we were able to connect loved ones via Skype calls, video calls, and just try and keep that connection with loved ones who maybe weren't able to come into the hospitals. Our Daisy Volunteer Project was also enabled families to get respite, so those particularly spending nights at the bedside, not wanting to leave mum, dad, auntie alone, felt that they could leave a volunteer who they'd built a relationship with to sit with them while they went and grabbed a coffee or even popped home for a shower so that they could come back refreshed. So those were the kind of needs that we saw, and we knew this project could meet that need. As I said, we worked in partnership with Marie Curie, who are absolutely amazing, and Shirley's going to share a bit about how they were able to support us with that. The funding we received from Marie Curie enabled us to recruit a Daisy volunteer coordinator. Now, this is really key for our project because you need administration to run anything that happens. You need those wheels to be working smoothly. So our Daisy volunteer coordinator was recruited with the funding we received from Marie Curie, and they worked tirelessly to recruit volunteers in order to run this project. Our recruitment was really strict. I mean, they were interviewed online. They had MS Teams interviews in those days when everyone was getting used to MS Teams and how to work it. And we were asking them challenging questions like, what would you do if the relative said, he's getting better, isn't he? And you know that the answer isn't necessarily yes, because they are end of life. We were asking challenging questions to make sure that these volunteers knew what they were getting into and how to be supported. Our training for our volunteers included training with the end-of-life teams, our chaplaincy teams, listening skills or communication skills. They also had some intensive time around the hospital so that they could just get used to the hospital environment as well. On top of that, the success of this project was made because we truly embedded it into the trust. So everyone in the trust knew that it was happening, everyone could get on board with what was happening, and we embedded them into the volunteer scheme that we already had. So they were dressed as our volunteers, but we differentiated them by using our end-of-life logo, our Daisy gerber, so that people could identify these volunteers specifically worked with our end-of-life patients. So let's get on to some of the results. We were able to support 287 patients at the end of their lives from May 2021 when the project was launched. And again, we launched it in Dying Matters Week to make much more of an impact. We were able to support 33 patients who would otherwise not have had any volunteers, any visitors at all at that time, because either they were elderly and didn't have any family members, or they just didn't have anyone that was able to visit them. Some of the feedback that we got, I think this service is lovely to provide for patients and families going through such difficult times. For patients who are not lucky enough to have family members visiting, this must be a comfort. The fact that this service is volunteers is amazing. Well done and thank you. We've given 933 emotional support visits to their relatives. So this one's to the person that's imminently dying. So that person that's dying has been able to have visits by our volunteers. And what we tend to do as well is maybe go in the mornings when their relatives aren't in, so that they've got someone with them, and that spreads out their visits for those that do have relatives. Just some more of the great feedback we've got there. Cannot express enough how this service is needed to help support families at this very difficult time. We've been given emotional support to relatives, as I said, 290 visits, that's individual visits to relatives, giving them emotional support. By those conversations they have, they find out what the patient might need. There's an amazing story about a dog. The volunteers can tell you at the stands if you find them, but I'm conscious of time, so I won't share that with you now. Our volunteers are a mixed age group. We've got our youngest is 18, our oldest is a retiree. We also have a mixed demographic as well because our community has mixed demographic and our volunteers reciprocate that. Respite sessions for families to go in and take a time for a tea and coffee break. And the total number of support sessions delivered in a year, 1,283. When you think this service is run by volunteers, I think that deserves a round of applause all on its own.
Hi, my name is Shirley and I am the Head of Patient and Carer Feedback for Marie Curie. And I'm absolutely honoured to be here today to meet the volunteers and congratulate them in winning this award, because it really is you guys that do this. So Marie Curie, as you can tell, this is our North Star. We call it the North Star. That's our vision. That's where we want to get to. So when we had this opportunity that arose around the Daisy Volunteers, this was actually a pilot for us, a different sort of way of partnership working. And it was sort of just outside of the other sort of companion roles, partnership working that we've done already with different trusts, care homes, in people's homes. We do quite a lot, but this was something different. They came to us with something completely different. So we thought it was really worth investing in and seeing where that goes. And it really has given us a lot to look at, and to take that data, I think it's quite amazing, isn't it? So I think one of the most important things that we want to do is we do have a wealth of experience of co-design in end of life. We really want to bring everybody together around death, dying and bereavement, and we want to support where we can. So for us, what's different is from the project, from everything that we've done, our direction of travel is reaching out to as many people as we can to really look at what that partnership working would look like and what those needs are out in the communities. So if I could just
Hear from our Daisy volunteers.
Hear from our Daisy volunteers. Have you got the...
Hello, my name's Jan. I've been Daisy volunteer now for just over a year and a half. I expected that most of the patients I would see would be elderly. So when I got my first much younger patient, it was a bit of a surprise and maybe a bit more difficult situation. However, it turned out to be just exactly what that patient and her family needed. And I was privileged to be with the patient just a few hours before her death, when she was alone, and she trusted me enough to reach out and hold my hand and to display how scared she was. And I was able to give her some reassurance. And her family knew I was with her, and I know that that was appreciated.
Hi, my name's Sophia and I'm one of the Daisy volunteers, and I've been volunteering for about a year or so. Volunteering for the Daisy Project is the most fulfilling role you can have, because you are there with a family, with a patient, at sometimes the most frightening times of their life. They don't know what to expect, they're scared. and you're there holding their hand, stroking their hair, reassuring them, giving them words of comfort. I go in on a Saturday and sometimes on a Sunday as well, so it's not a 9 to 5 service. You know, we want to be there when the patients need us and when the family needs us for support as well. And I'm lucky because I come from an Asian background and I can converse with them in their own language as well. And sometimes you really do build up a bond with these patients. You know, you get to know about how they came to this country, about the wars that they fought in, their pets, where they like shopping, all of these personal things that you get to know about them, and you really do become involved sometimes with their families as well. And you hope that what you do is going to reassure the family and it's going to help them in their grieving process as well when you give their loved ones a dignified send-off. And I really do think that this project is invaluable and it can easily be transferred to other hospitals and other trusts.